very last of the hay put up in the truck, and we're going to go ahead and offload this. In this video, I'm going to show you guys what we do to turn the spring's abundance into food for our animals all year long, and how we handle the hayfield after harvest. We're very lucky to have a neighbor who has a tractor with all the attachments necessary to process hay. So he cuts and then rakes into rows to get ready for baling, and then the baler comes in and we generate between 80 and 100 bales typically a year. This year we did about 85 bales. Load all these bales into the truck and then take them to the barn. We have a very large hay barn. Very lucky, very old, very beautiful hay barn that's great to keep our hay safe and curing in the summer, and then available for our animals starting in the midsummer. This hay will be available for a couple of years, and it will be good and nutritious for our animals to eat. So I'm standing in our barn. This barn has been used to store hay for well over a century. We just put in 85 bales of hay from our good hay field that we irrigate and that we use to feed our animals. This is another part of our regenerative practices. We don't have to buy any hay for our animals. We're able to grow it all of ourselves, as well as the hay we use for bedding. These bales down here, these were cut a couple years ago from an unirrigated pasture, and these are the bales that we do use for bedding. They're nice and dry, so I'm using those to provide some distance from the ground, and then stack these bales really loosely going up so that we can make sure that they stay nice and dry. There's still about 25 bales left from last year that we can continue to feed our animals, and then we'll put these in rotation to feed our animals going forward. So after we have all the hay picked up, the most important thing to do to bring the hay field around, to continue to have it be good forage for our sheep, is to irrigate. And thankfully, most of the irrigation is along the fence line, but there are 3 of the 9 zones that require putting these 30-foot aluminum pipes together like Tonka toys and irrigate the middle. And so it's the first time I'm going to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do, since these have been sitting out all winter, is to take off all the nozzles. So these are little nozzles that provide the direction for the water and make it shoot about 30 feet. These will frequently get clogged. Yellow jackets and other flying insects love going into these things, and then they clog the nozzles. So I just take them all out and flush the whole system out, and then put all the nozzles back. And there are all the little nozzles removed, and I'm going to keep them in my pocket, keep them in a safe place so I can put them back in. To keep the feeder line that runs to these aluminum pipes, I pull that off and hang it up on the fence in order to keep it out of the way for when Jack is cutting, raking, and baling, so it doesn't get damaged. So I need to pull that back in now. Having this really flexible line is super helpful because we're able to drag it into whatever position we need to start the irrigation. And then it's after we get that pipe in place, it's just a matter of clicking all of the fittings and aluminum pipes together. There's a gasket at each riser that allows them to be just popped together, and they work with just enough sufficient pressure. They will click together. So it takes a little bit of work to make sure everything is square and level. I actually start putting the nozzles back in when the system is on, and then as the system pressures up, that's impossible, so I've got to turn it off in order to put the last nozzles in, and then the system runs beautifully.